You know that feeling when someone you care about suddenly disappears? Shen Wenling knew it all too well. Half an hour ago, he had sent a message to Gao Tu, but there was still no reply. His heart was racing, and his patience wearing thin. Shen Wenling picked up his phone and anxiously scrolled through their WeChat chat history. Gao Tu's messages had always been rare but sweet, like little treasures he kept close. And now, silence. Absolute silence. It felt like Gao Tu had vanished into thin air, a stone thrown into a bottomless abyss, or a needle dropped into the vast sea. No messages. No updates. Nothing. Shen Wenling tried to distract himself by looking at Gao Tu's moments. But there was nothing new. The last post? That fishing trip at Taihu Lake. Shen Wenling smiled faintly as he remembered that day. Gao Tu was hopeless at fishing. He had stood patiently in the middle of the lake, rod in hand, waiting for hours but catching nothing. Shen Wenling had to step in. He showed Gao Tu how to cast the line, tie the float, and reel in the fish. Gao Tu had been nervous, stiff, and a little clumsy. But Shen Wenling didn't mind. He guided him patiently, hands on his, teaching every step. And then it happened. Gao Tu caught his first fish. He had posted it on WeChat Moments, a short and awkward message. "Thank you, Mr. Shen." It didn't make much sense, but Shen Wenling had liked it anyway. Because Gao Tu was cute, clumsy, and completely genuine, Shen Wenling usually didn't bother with moments. But under Gao Tu's posts, he found himself liking every single one, silently encouraging him. Even Gao Tu's colleagues had followed suit, leaving likes and hearts. But most of Gao Tu's posts were rare, forwarded from the company's official account, dull and impersonal. Shen Wenling frowned as he scrolled. He wanted more. More glimpses into Gao Tu's life, more little moments to hold on to. In a rush, Shen Wenling liked every post, from the oldest to the newest. Over 30 likes in a few minutes. Gao Tu didn't know any of this, and he probably never would. Meanwhile, Gao Tu was starting a new life, completely unaware of Shen Wenling's silent attention. He had woken up very early that morning, the room still dark. His body felt heavy, as if it had been run over by a truck. Dizziness and nausea hit him at once. For a moment, he had to lie flat, gathering the strength to sit up. Pregnancy symptoms hit him hard. Every muscle ached, every movement felt like effort. If every Omega experienced this during early pregnancy, he thought wryly, the world's population would probably drop by half. Despite the discomfort, he smiled faintly. Life was hard, but he was trying to keep going, trying to stay happy. After a quick wash-up and breakfast, Gao Tu sat in front of his computer. He began translating a business document. The job wasn't well paid, thanks to artificial intelligence and online translation software. But it was the only option for him right now. Luckily, he had some savings. And the rent for his temporary apartment was much lower than market rates. He and his sister were staying in a new apartment owned by an old neighbor, a stroke of luck that had made life just a little easier. A few days ago, Gao Tu had bumped into an old friend on his way back to his hometown. This friend, an older alpha, was the brother of a neighbor from his childhood. Over 10 years had passed, but the meeting felt natural. Almost like no time had gone by. "Little rabbit, are you going home too?" The alpha asked cheerfully, his dimples showing as he smiled. He was talkative, warm, and exuded a kind of easy charm. Gao Tu couldn't help but remember the energy he had as a child. How familiar yet distant it all felt now. Gao Tu's little sister, Gao Qing, was only 2 when they had left their hometown. She had no memory of this overly friendly alpha. She watched him warily, cautious and polite. "Who is this?" she asked, her voice careful. The alpha pointed at her, beaming. "This is..." he began, clearly intending to speak. But Gao Qing quickly answered for him. "Gao Qing, and you are?" She continued, her tone still cautious. "What's your name? Where do you live? Are you familiar with my brother?" "Sorry, my brother isn't good at handling strangers." Gao Tu smiled faintly at his sister's alertness. Protective,
precise and cautious. It reminded him of himself when he was younger.
But he also appreciated her careful nature. Back in the city, Shen Wenling couldn't stop thinking about Gao Tu. He scrolled through their past messages again, trying to find some clue, some hint. Every scene that didn't turn into a reply twisted a little more at his heart. He remembered the times they had spent together, simple, quiet moments that now felt far away. A shared cup of tea, a brief touch on the shoulder, a glance that lingered too long. Gao Tu's life had always been structured, careful, and a little lonely. Shen Wenling had watched quietly, wanting to be close, wanting to protect him without overstepping. But sometimes, the distance between them felt impossible. And now Gao Tu was starting a new life alone, away from the familiar. Shen Wenling's fingers hovered over the phone screen, hesitating. Should he reach out again? Or give him the space he clearly needed? He sighed, scrolling through Gao Tu's moments one last time. The posts were minimal, but each one carried meaning, a little glimpse of the person he loved. The awkward, clumsy, kind-hearted man who had captured Shen Wenling's heart without even trying. Meanwhile, Gao Tu finished his translation work and leaned back in his chair. He closed his eyes, trying to ignore the nausea and exhaustion that came with pregnancy. Despite the hardships, he felt a small spark of hope. Maybe this life wasn't perfect. Maybe it was challenging, painful, and uncertain. But it was his, and he would keep going, one small step at a time. He glanced out the window, sunlight spilling over the city. It was a new day, a new beginning. And even though he was alone now, he felt strangely calm. He had survived worse. He would survive this too. Somewhere else, Shen Wenling put down his phone. The worry didn't disappear, but he knew one thing. He couldn't let Gao Tu drift too far away. Even if it meant waiting, even if it meant silent observation, he would find a way to reach him. Because Gao Tu wasn't just anyone. He was the one who had quietly entered Shen Wenling's life, the one who had made him feel something he hadn't in years. And Shen Wenling wasn't about to let him go. Pause! Soft music swells slightly. Life moves forward in small, fragile steps. Moments of tenderness, clumsy affection, and fleeting smiles define the days between uncertainty and hope. Shen Wenling and Gao Tu's paths had crossed again, and no matter the distance, no matter the silence, that bond remained unbroken. As the city continued to buzz around them, two hearts were quietly holding on, one impatient and longing, the other fragile but determined. Both unaware of how much the other was thinking, yet connected in ways neither could explain. The question wasn't whether they would meet again. It was how they would hold on to each other when the world pulled them apart. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more ABO Desire stories. Hit the bell icon so you never miss a new episode. And tell us, what would you do if someone you love disappeared without a trace?